Hi, everybody. Oh, look at those side braces going on. So, in this video, we're finally putting the two pieces of the front fuselage together. By this point, you may have remembered from the last video that I'd fudged up part of the instructions a few chapters ago and drilled a bunch of holes that I shouldn't have. The result is that now I have a doubler plate uh, riveted onto one skin when I have a second skin ready to be riveted at the same time. The word from Vans is one of two things. If you want, you can drill all the rivets out, which you see me doing right now, and then pop rivet them in. Or you can dimple them flat and use filler on the body where the holes are, and do it that way, which is a good option. However, I realized I can't get any kind of flat metal underneath there. I mean, there's like I said, there's about a quarter of an inch of room between the skin and the actual bulkhead, which is the reason that I'll be able to do pop rivets. But there's just not quite enough room to get any kind of dimple die under there to kind of undimple these rivets. So I'm kind of forced now to do it the hard way. I say hard way. So there's 40 rivets to take out, and I took out 39 of them perfectly. One of them had a tiniest little crease in the inside of the original rivet hole. Not even enough to really bother with, but like I just said, other ones were perfect. So to make sure that the doubler plate that's actually on here that I'm taking off is in the correct place, I just happen to have 5 30-second Clecos. So in a little bit, on top of that, once we put all of these pieces together, there's a big milled piece, looks like a box or a boat, with a bunch of holes in it, and that's Clecoed to those bigger holes. And it sits on top of the doubler. I use that to hold it all in place, and then when all the skins are together, the doubler's in the correct place, everything is good, and then I can Cleco the accidentally drilled holes. While I was here, I was also correcting another thing. There were some stiffeners that you put across the area between the two bulkheads, and I'd accidentally riveted them all. Don't tell anybody. I just happened to read that note while on the Vans forums, and oh man, am I glad that I did. That would have been a nightmare. So I've got a couple of pieces of 2x4 sitting underneath the bottom. You want to get in the back, I should say, to kind of lift the back up, because you need to make sure that these two bulkheads are lined up and parallel. So one of the things also that you're going to do, and you're going to see me do this here, is to protect the fuselage. What you're going to do is you're going to make a wooden block, or plastic, whatever you want to make it out of a very specific dimensions, and you use that in place where the attach bolts are for the wing, because you're going to need to put the fuselage up on its side, which you will see in the next couple of videos. When that happens, yeah, you want to protect those big bulkheads, so that's what this piece of wood is. Now, unfortunately, the piece of wood that they want you to use is thicker than a 2x4 by about 2 millimeters. In real life, you could just use a 2x4. It doesn't, I mean, it doesn't have to be perfectly the same width as your regular wing, because you're going to have everything Clecoed up together so tight. It just needs to have two holes. What's important is that it's a minimum of width of like 3 inches, and that in the middle it's got 2 holes, 7/16 holes, very specific width apart, to match the holes for the spar. Well, that's a lot to say. Once you have that, then everything is, you can lean it up on its side and everything's fine. And then I forget that I pointed the camera at the bandsaw. I'm ridiculous. Anyway, in the next video, we're going to start Clecoing everything together and putting stuff in. My buddy Victor comes over and starts helping me, and for the next couple of videos. there's been finishing some oils. So anyway, see you in the next video, and see you soon.